So on this episode of Luthando, we're going to ground and point the camera where it should be more often, on nature. Mat. To define nature is not possible from a human mind, but like spirit, it's an unseen understanding that it is what is, or the word is existence. That's nature, the all, God, whatever you want to call it. For me, I define nature as it is. Can't be fooled. It's evident. It's before, it's after, the Alpha Omega. But it's not what we came. That's not the main reason or the main definitions we wanted to clarify here. As far as intending, what is intentions is similar to purpose. If you intend to do harm to someone, your purpose is to do harm to them. So nature shows us that it has a certain intention or a certain purpose. Some intend to explore and dominate and invade. Others intend, have a pure heart. Children or any adolescents, whether you see a baby goat or a baby cow, it seems they enter life with pure intent, pure purpose, without any intent to destroy anything or to be destructive. Through conditioning or through conditions, they learn how to do these things. They are taught to do these things. What is a church? Gathering of like minds. If someone's going to, let's say, a Beyonce concert, most of those people that are buying those tickets have shown that they have a like mind in that they all like Beyonce, right? So that's a form of a church because they're all in that same frame of mind, or all having that same intent to go see Beyonce. Accountability. Upon deciding to take courses in college, I stumbled upon accounting. I actually, at one point, was married to an accountant. And accounting is basically keeping record from a financial standpoint. So if I bought 2 oranges, I write down that I bought 2 oranges. If I made $2, I write down that I made $2. I take account of what actually happened. Now if I cook the books, which is a term used often when talking about writing things as they weren't, and that's why truth and lies are very important to be defined by oneself and collectively. But when you write things down as they weren't, the main term is called cooking the books, meaning lying about the numbers that you're writing down. So if I made $4 but I only wrote that I made $1, by cooking the books I evade taxes because it looks like I only made $1. I'm using very simple numbers here. On a personal level, accountability is like from a pure intention place, is taking account for what you do, taking account for your actions, taking account for your words, your thoughts, your spirit, which we can't see, but the words define or tell where the spirit is at. So once someone takes account and 100% responsibility, which is the next word we'll talk about, it's a freeing thing. It's people talk about woke or whatever. I feel like that's when I became woke or whatever, is realizing that I'm 100% responsible for everything that happens in my life. Once you take that accountability and responsibility, I feel that is a liberating and empowering moment. And there's great teachers that pushed that into me. Thanks to those teachers. Responsibility, response, just like accountability, accounting, response, to respond, to answer. So, just in a very basic conversational situation, if someone asks me a question and I fail to respond, whether it be because I have pride, or whether I fear, or whether I'm insecure, or whether I lack trust in myself to be able to answer that question, which is why most people don't raise their hands in class. I don't want to respond out of fear or whatever. That means I'm lacking responsibility, or the ability to respond, to answer questions. When you take responsibility, full responsibility for yourself, you tend to ask questions of yourself more, and then be able to answer them yourself more. So as I'm grounding here and even talking to you, I'm asking myself questions and responding. I'm filtering out different things to make sure that my response to, or my definitions, my answers, meanings, the answers to why, reflect in a manner that I'd like to not trigger or harm someone. My intent is not to trigger or harm someone. I'm just defining stuff here. So responsibility is our ability to answer life's problems and solve life's problems. So some people look at life's problems and want to solve them. Other people only see the problems and are perpetually seeing problems in their life. And leaving those problems unanswered is leaving those problems unresolved or unsolved. So people have unresolved issues within their families or their businesses or whatever. That means they lack a sense of responsibility. From this definition, family, a social institution, okay? The first institution from a human standpoint and from a greater family standpoint that looks, from a human perspective, that looks to form a union, an association, a cooperation, an agreement to further and to develop a child or children to their maximum potential. Sovereignty, complete control of what they say the 9 areas of life: politics, defense, military, media, communications. I may forget one: health, sex, government, politics, food and economy, so on and so forth. To depend is to rely. I may be wrong, but I haven't found any human that doesn't rely on nature. That's why nature is, to me, is God. Okay? So, if we rely on nature for our food, our water, our air, and everything, how are we independent? Isn't nature the only thing that's independent? So, to me, nature is independent. All else is dependent. Nature is the source. Everything else is resource. Thanks for being with me on this version of definitions where we look to nature to find these responses to our human problems. And let's be aware that humans are not the only thing that exists on this planet or in this universe. Universe being the university. We learn from nature, which is the universe.